history is full of firsts.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Many of those firsts shaped our way of life. For 70 years, KPRC Channel 2 has been proud to be pioneers in shaping television and Houston history.
In a state the size of Texas, everyone can enjoy.
Calls in the storms Thursday. Minutes before 9 o'clock, the crew's here telling her.
This is the first time in a long they had 11. Send us some of your men.
Isn't it good to work for a place that has a sense of history? And indeed it is.
See, taking the president from Spring to College Station following.
If you have something you'd like Channel 2 Investigates to check out, call the tip line at 713-223-TIPS or email investigates@click2houston.com. Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News at 4.
Now, for a bizarre discovery at a construction site, the remains of what could be a fetus, what investigators now are saying.
And a man dies after an alleged drunk driving crash. What we're learning about him and what's next for the accused driver who has faced DWI charges several times before.
We begin with the gruesome mystery after workers found remains at a construction site. Thank you for joining us. I'm Keith Garvin.
And I'm Christine Noel. Those remains are believed to be of a fetus. This happened in North Harris County near the North Freeway and West Riley Fuzzle Street. That is where Channel 2's Hannah McKenzie is now live with the latest. Hannah?
So the fetus was found behind me in that fourth structure over there, and that will become a warehouse. As you can see, it's still under construction. In fact, the man who found the fetus today was working here at the site. Deputies swarming to this warehouse off the North Freeway Service Road around 8:30 Monday morning. A gruesome discovery inside one of the under construction buildings.
Some construction workers working here at the site found what they believed appeared to be a human fetus.
Sheriff Ed Gonzalez unable to confirm if the fetus is human.
It's very, very small. It's very difficult just to be able to really tell by the naked eye. So we do have the Institute of Forensic Sciences coming out here.
I'm told it's typically a 48-hour turnaround time for exam results, but with a case like this, it could take much longer. And I was able to speak with the construction worker who found the fetus this morning, and you will hear from him coming up tonight at 5. Reporting live in North Harris County, Hannah McKenzie, KPRC Channel 2 News.
Hannah, thank you. Breaking right now concerning the coronavirus in the city of Houston. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say there will not be enhanced screenings for passengers at Bush Intercontinental Airport. That's because Bush is not on the list to receive rerouted flights from China. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has directed all flights from China to be rerouted through one of 11 airports. That includes people who traveled to China within the last 14 days. Routine screenings still will be conducted.
Also breaking right now is shooting at Texas A&M Commerce University. That's about 60 miles northeast of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We know 2 women were killed while a child was injured and taken to the hospital. The shooting happened in Pride Rock Residence Hall, which houses co-ed freshmen. A shelter in place has since been lifted, but classes are canceled for the rest of the day. Police have not released any information about the victims or the gunmen. The city of Houston is mourning the loss of a trailblazer who served the city city for more than 70 years. Anna Russell passed away today at the age of 88. She began working for the city back in 1950 at the age of 18. She was appointed city secretary by former Mayor Louis Welch in 1972. During her years at City Hall, she served under 13 mayors. Some of her duties included overseeing council proceedings, maintaining all city records, candidate filings, and more. Mayor Sylvester Turner released a statement on her passing, saying she will be missed always.
Now to a man facing his 4th DWI charge after a crash in Northwest Harris County. This latest crash ended one man's life, leading to even more serious charges. We are also getting our first look at the victim. Channel 2's Joel Eisenbaum is near Bamel North Houston Road on Champion Forest Drive where this happened. Joel.
Keith, that wreck did happen steps from where I'm standing at the corner of Bamel North Houston and Champion Forest. This is nothing novel. This is nothing new. Harris County really leads the entire nation when it comes to DWI deaths, and this is more evidence why. In Northwest Harris County during the Super Bowl, a deadly accident that really was no accident at all.
The most tragic and the scariest thing is individuals like this.
57-year-old Jeffrey Davis is a serial drunk driver. 3 convictions so far. And now he's looking at a 4th DWI charge and a felony murder charge.
Somebody who was intoxicated and decided to try to beat a light.
He did not. And on Bamel North Houston at Champion Forest at 7:45 Sunday night, this young man, 20-year-old Eduardo Tavares, was killed in his crumpled pickup truck. On the same corner Monday, his family gathered pieces of that truck and laid down flowers. What else can they do, really? The DA's office is waiting for Davis to get out of the hospital so they can put him in jail. And others may be on the hook for Tavares' sudden tragic death, too.
The second prong of our investigation is now how to get this alcohol. Who contributed to him becoming this intoxicated?
Jeffrey Davis, the suspect, remains in the hospital this afternoon. We just checked. Not sure of his condition, but he did have a surgery late last night. I can tell you that. Also, there is surveillance video, apparently, of this wreck, and you can bet investigators will be looking at it. We're live in Northwest Harris County. I'm Joel Eisenbaum, KPRC Channel 2 News.
Joel, thank you. Tonight at 6, Channel 2 investigator Robert Arnold has a closer look at the issue of repeat drunk driving offenders in our area.
Just want to make sure it's safe for you to be driving, all right?
Every year, tens of thousands of people are arrested for drinking and driving.
Public perception about DWI has to change.
Many are repeat offenders.
I don't ever want him to be out on the streets again, because obviously he's going to do it again.
Channel 2 investigates what police and prosecutors are doing to keep repeated drunk drivers off the road.
At the end of the day, we've got to change these people's behavior.
But what happens when people don't change? Our investigation is tonight at 6 on KPRC Channel 2 News.
The Bay City Police Chief Robert Lister has been suspended after he's accused of sending an inappropriate email to a subordinate. We're told the chief and the coworker were not in a relationship when the message was sent. Lister has been suspended for 10 days, and officials tell us that he will not be charged in connection to the incident. Turning to our weather now with a wind advisory in effect, and if you stepped outside, you'll see why.
Yeah, windy but warm. Frank, Are we sure this is winter?
You know what? 72 degrees is more typical of March 10th. Than February 3rd, so there you go. I know. We should be taking spring break right now, huh?
I'd go.
I know. And look at these numbers all the way up to San Angelo, Dallas at 64, strong south winds 14, 16, 15 miles an hour, and these gusts to 23 here in Houston. So it's a breezy one. Wind advisory for most of the area through 6 o'clock. We're not going to get much rain out of this deal. We see some clouds continue to move across. A lot of this rain's not even reaching the ground up here around Huntsville, but you may see a quick splash. That's going to be about it. Nothing really measurable. This is interesting. 4 to 8 inches of snow. This winter storm advisory is in effect starting Tuesday night, and it goes right on into Wednesday night. So Tuesday evening to Wednesday evening, winter storm watches for there, and that's in West Texas. But it does come with a front that's on the way. It's out in Arizona right now. That will make its way through Houston. I'll time that out for you coming up. It's going to be cloudy and warm until then. Some slight rain chances. The better rain chances come when the front gets here. So Wednesday's big front, we'll time that out, and then a winter burst here. It's a possibility. We'll talk about that as well. Keith?
All right, we'll see you then, Frank. Thank you. And you can keep keep track of the rain chances and temperatures wherever you go by downloading Frank's free forecast weather app. Just search KPRC in your app store.
A former Harris County Precinct 3 Constable Captain wasn't back in court today to face a charge of sexually assaulting a child. Jack Hagee was in court this morning where a judge signed an emergency protection order. Prosecutors say the 74-year-old touched and sexually assaulted a girl 30 years ago when she was just 4 years old. Hagee is not allowed to leave the state, go near a school, or have contact with the victim. Hagee's bond has been set at $65,000. We have breaking news on longtime conservative radio host Rush Limbaugh. He told listeners of his show today that he has been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer. Limbaugh says he will be taken off a few days to undergo more tests and begin treatment. His nationally syndicated show has been around for more than 30 years.
A big night for Decision 2020 in the race for the White House. The Iowa caucuses are tonight as Democratic candidates make a push to be their party's nominee. Channel 2's Sion Rhodes has been covering the moments leading up to tonight's caucuses. She is live in Ankeny, Iowa, with the final push from the candidates. Sion.
And we are inside one of those 1,600 spots, Keith, where Iowans will gather. This is a gymnasium inside Faith Baptist Bible College and Seminary. You can see they're still pulling out the bleachers. They're still setting up chairs here as Iowans get ready to voice their choice for the next nominee for Democratic nominee for president.
Vice President, are you confident?
Win today? I hope so. Tonight, Iowa is the center of the political universe as candidates make their 11th hour pitches.
Today is the last mile.
I think it's going to be a big day for us. I think so.
Those pulling double duty as senators campaigning from D.C.
Except for my constitutional duty, I would be sitting there right there with you right now.
All trying to prove they have what it takes to the state and nation.
We're kind of like a yard sign for the rest of the country. When they see who can win here, it may increase folks' chances of voting for that candidate on Super Tuesday.
Iowans gather at churches, schools, and gymnasiums, standing in a particular spot to physically show their pick. But if a candidate gets less than 15% of the people in the room, they are unviable, and their supporters choose again. That total determines how the state's delegates are divvied up.
I think the polls are pretty true, but you don't know how people are really going to caucus when they actually go.
Decision time for caucus goers.
I strongly believe in all of Bernie's policies.
I'm going to throw my support behind Joe Biden. Elizabeth Warren, she supports college for everyone.
A final sprint in Iowa in the marathon to the White House. So they're expecting anywhere from 600, maybe all the way up to 900 people to gather in this spot. So it's going to be quite a scene. I'm going to have reports from you and, of course, the results as they come in. More at 10 o'clock. Reporting live, Sion Rhodes, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Quite the process indeed, Sion. Thank you. And if you want to take part in the Texas primary on Super Tuesday, today is the last day to register to vote. To get it done, you can print off a voter registration packet from the state's website, then take that by the registrar's office or mail it out today for your vote to count. We have all this information on our website, click2houston.com. All right, today fans are talking about the Chiefs' big win over the 49ers in the Super Bowl, but they're also talking about that halftime show.
Sure are. Shakira and Jennifer Lopez still have social media buzzing today over their performances in Miami. While many commented on the quality of the show itself, others criticized the wardrobe and dance moves of the artists, saying that they were not appropriate or family friendly. We'll show you some of your social media comments coming up later this hour.
In the meantime, this is the topic of our Click to Vote question. Do you think the Super Bowl halftime show was too risque? Vote now, and we will have the final results at the end of this newscast.
All right, we've been telling you about the teen who was suspended from school over the length of his dreadlocks.
Coming up, the new show of support DeAndre Arnold is now getting.
And the fire that spread through a car dealership, damaging several vehicles. More to come.
But first, we want to give you a look at some of your traffic times a little bit after 4 o'clock here, and things looking pretty decent in most directions. 16 minutes heading east, whether you're going to Baytown on I-10 or going to LaPorte on 225. If you're headed down to Sugar Land on the Southwest Freeway from downtown Houston, it's going to take you less than half an hour, a little more than half an hour if you're headed up to the Woodlands on the North Freeway.
You're watching Channel 2, Houston's home for news.
Police are trying to find a motive after they say a man started shooting inside a packed Greyhound bus.
Yeah, a 51-year-old woman was killed and 5 others were hurt. Authorities got the call just before 1:30 this morning. The bus was headed from Los Angeles to the Bay Area. Passengers say they heard arguing and then gunshots. The driver stopped and managed to force the gunman off the bus. The suspect was arrested without incident.
Several vehicles are damaged now after a massive fire at a car dealership in Maryland. Take a look at this video. You can see the cars engulfed in flames and firefighters dousing them with water. Utility company shut off electrical power in the area to help firefighters. So far, we do not know the cause of that fire.
Turning to our forecast now, it is quite the windy day out there, but it was started warm.
You know, it's breezy, but yeah, that south wind's driving those temperatures right there into the 70s. So.
And after a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, it was perfect.
I mean, that groundhog loved it.
Sure did.
He's the star of the show.
I know. And you know what? I have another one for you coming up. We just got to get there. And we have a lot to get through to get there. A whole week away.
Here we go. Buckle up.
Yeah. First of all, look at this morning. Wasn't it beautiful this morning?
Yeah,
that was sort of the tail end of the weekend to wake up to this gorgeous shot there out in Tomball. So that was nice. Air quality today, not too many problems there. Tree pollen is high, ragweed and grass, nothing showing up. Mold spores are in the low range. Here's a look then across Southwest Freeway. Not bad. Looks pretty good. Some cloud cover, 72. South winds at 15. Temperatures everywhere, generally low 70s. I have 69 in Columbus, but 70 to 73, fairly common across the area. Here are the winds, and they're sustained everywhere at 15 miles an hour or better. And then you look at the gusts, 25, 26, 23, 24 and more. And it's pretty common. Here's a look at the futurecast for the winds, and it continues really. You can see those teens right through the morning hours at 7 a.m. I still have 12, 16 mile an hour winds out there, and then tomorrow afternoon, even up to 20, 21. So I think it's going to be a breezy evening. We may see that wind advisory extended. I think right on into tomorrow, it's going to be breezy also. You can see that strong south pull and that little bit of moisture. And I say a little bit. We're really not seeing a lot of this even reach the ground more than anything. It's a reflection of the humidity and the clouds coming in. So 20 to 30% chance you'll see a sprinkle. The real action comes when we get to Wednesday as this system that's back out to the west starts to make its way in our direction. There's a little low down here in Mexico. That's what's helping enhance these showers trying to move out ahead of it. So here's a look. I'm going to put some pause points in here. That's tomorrow afternoon. And so tomorrow afternoon looks a lot like this afternoon. It gets cloudy. It's going to maybe see a sprinkle, and it's going to be warm. We could even see some 80s across the area. But the front does start to make its way through once we get into Wednesday morning early at 6 a.m. Now look back out here to West Texas. 1 to 3 inches of snow, easy, if not even more than that. Some places forecasting as much as 4 to 8 inches of snow, especially up around Oklahoma. So that into the Dallas area, some freezing weather. We get that through here pretty quickly. By 1 o'clock Wednesday, we're back to just clouds. And then this winter burst that maybe might happen, and this is a ways away, and it's 2 in the morning on Thursday. You can see maybe just a little slice of some snow or sleet from Brenham up toward the Lufkin area. That's 4 a.m. on Thursday. We get to 6, 7 a.m., it's all gone. So in the early morning hours of Thursday, we may see a little winter push. We'll keep an eye on that. Temperatures are the more interesting thing. Tomorrow, in the 60s to the upper 70s and the 80s. And then as we go into Wednesday, look what happens. Here comes that front. Wednesday morning, 40s or 70s. Depends on where you are. And then as we go into Wednesday afternoon, we're all pretty much in the 50s. It's going to be a cold one, and it's going to get even colder for Thursday morning. You see that 34 in Columbus to 36 in Huntsville. That's why it may be a little colder than that and cold enough to sustain at least a little wintry precip falling through the atmosphere. Won't stick, so there will be no impacts, but could be, I guess, interesting. 10% chance for a shower or two, but only a quick one. There's the weekend aircast, so it looked pretty good too, didn't it? All right, 78 for tomorrow, 58 for Wednesday, I should say, and then 52 on Thursday. Chances of rain are best for Wednesday morning, and I think then it really begins to dry out as we head into this weekend. Look at that, 72 and 74 Saturday and Sunday. How about that?
Perfect.
You know, so SaberCats are on the board there, along with the Houston Roughnecks. I've got to learn to say that new football team, the Roughnecks.
Yeah, so many teams in Houston.
I know. We're crazy around here with sports. Really are.
Can't wait to see them play. All right, Frank, thank you.
All righty.
All right, coming up, the impact ACL injuries can have not just on your knee, but on your brain as well.
And how a little music could really help you when you hit the gym. Welcome back. A study at the University of Michigan is giving new insight into one of the most common athletic injuries.
Yeah, a torn ACL can be a devastating injury that requires reconstructive surgery and may even leave you with permanent joint function loss. But now officials at the School of Kinesiology at the University of Michigan say they have discovered that patients who have undergone reconstruction surgery may be more likely to suffer another tear. The research team looked at 10 patients who underwent the surgery and say they suffered a change in their brain that impeded recovery and even created worse athletic performance. All right, if you need that extra push during your workout, try listening to music.
Oh, that's my jam for sure. According to a new study, high-tempo music can actually inspire you to exercise harder. Perhaps you've experienced this as well. Researchers in Italy found music equal to about 170 beats per minute can boost your cardio and make you feel less tired. The benefits were best during endurance exercise like brisk walking, running, biking, and swimming, but not as good for weightlifting and high-intensity interval training.
It's all mind over matter.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, the incentives restaurants are trying now to get people to dine out at less crowded times.
And about 4:23 now on your Monday afternoon. Let's check traffic. If you're heading up to the Woodlands, it looks like smooth sailing, just about 30 minutes if you're heading on the North Freeway up to the Woodlands. If you're heading west towards Katy, you're looking at 35 minutes and 23 minutes on 288 down to Pearland.
88.
Restaurants are getting more creative to fill seats as more and more people are turning to those delivery services.
Yeah, the growing trend of ordering takeout is forcing restaurants to turn to new ideas in an attempt to beat the competition. Apps like OpenTable allow diners to earn gift certificates or discounts in exchange for making a reservation during off-peak hours. That's usually before 5:30 or after 8:30. The app offers diners various rewards, including up to 40% off a dinner bill.
All right, if you're a 90s kid, you're going to likely recognize these delicious snacks, and you'll be happy to learn that they're making a comeback. After years of only being available in Canada, General Mills announcing today the relaunch of Dunkaroos here in the U.S. And in case you aren't familiar with the snack, they're cookies that you dunk in delicious frosting and sprinkles. You should see the delicious treat on store shelves come summertime.
There's some parents happy about that comeback as well. All right, a mascot accused of assaulting a teen at a hockey game has had his name cleared.
Coming up, what police are now saying about Gritty's alleged attack.
And was the halftime Super Bowl show too hot for TV? Channel 2 viewers weigh in on the debate coming up ahead.
In Village Plumbing. Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News at 4.
Growing concerns about the coronavirus, the new measures being taken to stop the spread of the illness.
A massive memorial honoring Kobe Bryant and 8 others killed in a helicopter crash is being removed. How the family plans to preserve the special tributes left by thousands of fans.
A movie theater is celebrating Black History Month with a free screening of Harriet, where you can go see the movie starting this week. Well, the work week off to a dreary start, and we're bracing for some big changes.
Yeah, a cold front is expected to deliver some much cooler temperatures later on this week. For the timing of that, we turn to Frank.
Yeah, you know what? Look at that shaky camera. How about that?
Windy.
I know. The wind is out there. The temperatures are warm because of it. It's a nice, strong south wind. So we got lots of 70s out there. Houston's at 72. Conroe's at 72. That's usually mid-March, not early February. Look at that wind. 14, 16, 20 miles an hour in Katy, gusting to 26 there. So it's going to continue to be a busy one in terms of the wind. The advisory is in effect through 6 o'clock for south winds 15 to 25. And, you know, it may be extended. It's going to continue to be breezy right on through tomorrow. Not looking for a lot in the way of rain for us. A lot of this isn't even reaching the ground. It's still fairly dry from the weekend. This is more interesting back out here where 4 to 8 inches of snow could fall between Tuesday night and Wednesday night in West Texas. There's a front that is on the way. That's going to be moving toward us. Not tonight, but Wednesday, we're going to have to brace for some big changes. So a slight rain increase as we go into 7 o'clock. Cloudy skies for sure. And then we continue, as I said, breezy right on through tomorrow. I think we'll see the clouds stick with us. Then Wednesday's big front arrives. I'll time that out for you coming up in Maine weather. Even a little winter burst is a possibility. I'll show you when that might happen coming up. Christine?
All right, Frank, thank you. And remember, you at home, you can track the temperatures whenever you want. Just download Frank's free forecast weather app. Search KPRC in your app store.
Now to a developing story. The Coast Guard is working to clean up and contain a crude oil spill near Baytown. This is new video from Sky 2 after it flew over Tabbs Bay earlier today. We're told about 630 gallons of crude oil spilled from a wellhead. The oil did reach the shore. It's not clear what caused that spill. Investigators tonight are working to learn what led to a shooting at a bus stop in North Houston. Police say around 6:15 this morning, a 17-year-old on a Metro bus was shot at by a man in a truck. And investigators tell us the teen had just left the suspected shooter's ex-girlfriend's house. The teenager was not hit, but a man riding inside the bus was injured in the crossfire after a bullet broke the glass next to him.
Just got a gash on my head and some glass on my face, but besides that, I'm okay. Very scary. Just thank God that I'm alive, and thank God for Metro's glass, double pane glass. It's a lifesaver, for real.
The man was thankfully only left with a minor injury. The gunman is still on the run.
It is a story that has made national news and has gotten the attention of some A-list celebrities. Now the Texas American Federation of Teachers is standing with a teen whose hair has become the center of controversy. As we've reported, DeAndre Arnold was a senior at Barbers Hill School in high school in Mont Bellevue. The school district said that his dreadlocks violated dress code policy there. The 18-year-old was suspended and told that he would not be able to walk on the stage at graduation unless he cut his hair. Arnold has since left that district and enrolled in another school. The Texas American Federation of Teachers released this statement saying, quote, "We urge Barbers Hill ISD to begin immediate steps to change the dress code policy so that it is not discriminatory on any grounds." The group then said the district owed DeAndre an apology.
Corpus Christi is mourning the loss of a police officer after he was hit by a driver while conducting a traffic stop last week. 46-year-old Alan McCollum was one of several officers conducting that traffic stop Friday night when police say a car driven by 26-year-old Brandon Portillo crashed into them. Two officers were hit in the crash, Officer McCollum and Officer Michael Love. McCollum was taken to the hospital where he later died. Police say Portillo is believed to have been intoxicated.
We're going to go through this investigation methodically. We're going to do things right, and we're going to come to a logical conclusion as it pertains to this case and all the benefits and all the things that we have to do to support this family.
Officer Love, who also was injured in the crash, remains hospitalized and is in stable condition. The growing memorial outside the Staples Center for Kobe Bryant is now being taken down. Crews started clearing out items today in Los Angeles. Flowers, candles, even basketballs were left to honor Bryant after he died in a helicopter crash. His daughter Gianna and 7 others also were killed. Bryant's widow, Vanessa, had requested the items, which were to be cataloged and shipped to the family. Flowers will be composted and spread around plants near Staples Center. Fans were urged to donate to a Bryant Foundation rather than bring more gifts and flowers.
Britain's Prime Minister is speaking out today after a violent attack on a London street over the weekend. Investigators say 20-year-old Sudesh Aman strapped on a fake bomb and then stabbed 2 people yesterday before being fatally shot by police. According to police, he was recently released from prison where he was charged with terrorist offenses. The Prime Minister now saying that he will try to fix the system that allowed the convicted terrorist out of prison on early release.
We're bringing forward legislation to stop the system of automatic early release, but the difficulty is how to apply that. I see the AG in the front row, how to apply that retrospectively to the cohort of people who currently qualify.
This is the second time in less than 3 months that Islamist radical who was let out of prison early attacked people upon release.
Some tense moments in the sky for passengers trying to get out of Spain. An aircraft was forced to make an emergency landing. The plane was on its way to Toronto from Madrid, but just before takeoff, there was an engine had some problems and a tire blew out on the Boeing 767. The plane spent 4 hours circling to burn off enough fuel so it would be light enough to land. No one was hurt.
The CDC says at least 11 people in the United States have tested positive for coronavirus, and today there are new travel restrictions in place to try to slow the spread of the disease, which has now infected more than 17,000 people in China, is being blamed for at least 360 deaths there. Still, public health officials here say the risk to Americans is low. NBC's Chris Pallone has the latest.
In Wuhan, China, the first of 2 new hospitals is now taking in patients. Built in less than 10 days, the Chinese government says the new hospitals are needed to slow the spread of coronavirus, which has infected tens of thousands and killed at least 360 across that country since early December. Here in the U.S., health officials say 2 of the latest people diagnosed with the virus are in Northern California. A 57-year-old man who recently returned from Wuhan, China, and then passed the infection to his wife.
He was screened at the airport per the quarantine rules at the time and was found to be totally healthy and asymptomatic, so nothing was going on with him at the time.
The federal government has declared a public health emergency, banning most foreigners who have recently been in China from entering the U.S. Flights arriving from China are being routed through one of 11 airports where U.S. citizens will be screened and possibly isolated for 2 weeks before being allowed to go home. Aggressive steps health officials hope will prevent widespread coronavirus infections in the U.S.
The reason we haven't seen spread that is persistent type of sustained transmission is because of good public health measures.
There are still about 1,000 Americans waiting to return home from Wuhan, China, and nearly 200 others who have already returned will remain quarantined for another week. And while people in places with large Asian populations like Queens, New York, wear face masks to protect themselves, U.S. health officials insist the coronavirus risk for most Americans is very low. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
An accuser in Harvey Weinstein's rape and sexual assault trials revealing intimate details about the alleged abuse. Jessica Mann took the stand today to give her side of the story. She described having a complicated and layered relationship with the disgraced movie mogul, claiming it started out as non-consensual, then briefly consensual before ending in rape. Weinstein has denied all allegations. The woman who police say drove through 2 checkpoints outside President Trump's Palm Beach resort went before a judge today. 30-year-old Hannah Romild appeared in a West Palm Beach courtroom this morning. Romild's attorney says that she has a history of mental illness and was not taking her medication at the time of her arrest. Friday, police say Romild led highway patrol troopers on a pursuit in Palm Beach. When her car went through checkpoints at Mar-a-Lago, sheriff's deputies shot at the vehicle. Romild was eventually arrested in West Palm Beach.
To Washington now, where the Senate impeachment trial of President Trump is nearing an end. Each side presenting its closing arguments today. Channel 2's Lauren Freeman is joining us live in the newsroom to break this all down for us. Lauren.
Christine, each side has 2 hours to present final arguments. While the president's acquittal is a foregone conclusion, that is not stopping Democrats from a last-ditch effort. After months of hearings, arguments, and testimony, President Trump's fate heading to the hands of the senators.
And I ask that this partisan impeachment come to an end.
Donald Trump has betrayed his oath to protect and defend the Constitution. But it's not too late for us to honor ours.
Today's closing arguments allowing both sides their final attempt to sway the upcoming vote.
This is an issue of conscience to everybody.
Republicans arguing the president's actions don't warrant removal by Congress.
The only appropriate result here is to acquit the president and to leave it to the voters to choose their president.
On Twitter, the president calling the impeachment a hoax. Following today's closes, senators who have acted as jurors in this trial make speeches, which could last right up until voting time Wednesday afternoon. But despite Republican efforts at making this a quick trial, it will not end in time for tomorrow's State of the Union address. Christine?
You. The Olympics are a little over 5 months away, but they are ahead of schedule when it comes to building all the venues needed for the games. A ceremony was held yesterday to mark the completion of Ariake Arena. The venue will be used for volleyball and wheelchair basketball. Players from the Japanese women's national volleyball team and men's wheelchair basketball team took part in a short practice on the new court. The event included a ribbon cutting ceremony for the new facility. And be sure to stay with Channel 2 for all complete coverage of the upcoming Olympic Games. Roseanne Aragon, Keith, and myself are heading to Tokyo for the Games. We're very excited. We're going to bring you live reports on all the events happening. And speaking of Tokyo, Warner Brothers is hoping to open a Harry Potter studio there. That is after a local amusement park with a long history is closing permanently. The entertainment company is said to have plans to open the theme park in the spring of 2023 at the site of Toshimien. That amusement park features various attractions and a large swimming pool.
Lakewood pastor Joel Osteen and artist Kanye West are teaming up again to bring a new worship service to New York. The pair will present an evening with Joel and Victoria Osteen featuring Kanye West and the Sunday Service Choir on May 2nd. The event will be held at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Tickets will go on sale Thursday for $25 per person. Regal Theaters is offering free screenings of the movie Harriet during Black History Month. The movie is based on the life of Harriet Tubman, the legendary abolitionist and activist who escaped slavery and then risked her life to help others do the same. The Edwards Greenway Grand Palace Stadium will show Harriet starting tomorrow and next Tuesday. Showtimes start at 7 o'clock and 9:30 on each day. All right, a visit from the Tooth Fairy is about to get a lot more fun for children and their parents.
Still to come, the new books and characters that are changing the Tooth Fairy's visit.
And the Super Bowl MVP got his hands on his new trophy today. How Patrick Mahomes is celebrating his new achievement.